This video will demonstrate the process of mixing stem files in Reaper. This is in the context of our class Music 1070, the Introduction to Music Technology, Eastern Illinois University. This is our Module 1 project, Mixing Stems. So you'll find in D2L, the Dropbox for this assignment has a zipped folder of stem files for this recording session. Remember that stem files are unprocessed and unmixed recording tracks that have been just printed to audio without any sort of manipulation. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drag them all into our Reaper session, which will create separate tracks for each. And you're going to say separate tracks. And Reaper automatically gives you that that mixer, which is nice. And let's see if I can make this a little this divider a little different here. I know I can change this window size, and there it is. There we go. Okay, because we need mostly just panning and volume for each one. And so what I would like to do is start by bringing everything down, and we'll keep an eye on our master, which is on the left, and then our vocals, synth, piano, guitar, bass, electric piano, electric percussion, sticks, drum kit room, hi-hats, snare, and kick. And so we're going to use our pan, and we're going to select a amount of time to loop and turn on our loop playback. And we'll gradually bring in our kick. Then we'll bring in our snare. We'll put our snare slightly to the right. Now keep in mind that our snare won't need to be as loud as our kick drum, because our kick drum is a lower sound and the snare is a little bit higher, so we don't need to give it as much energy. Hi-hats are the same way. We're going to position our hi-hats to the right, panning it to the right, and we'll bring up our hi-hats underneath our snare. And then our drum kit room mic is pan stereo and will basically give us some ambient sounds to help us hear. So that's a pretty good drum mix. Now we're going to add our electro percussion. So we're going to go ahead and solo these guys. And our other auxiliary percussion can be panned sort of however you want to, as long as they're spread out evenly. Notice that I muted them as like a little subgroup. Or I'm sorry, I soloed them as a subgroup, excuse me. And they're going to be kind of evenly associated with the drum mix. We don't need a whole lot of levels on them. And we're looking at our master output and making sure that it is within level. And when we're ready, we can bring in our bass. And we'll solo our bass with our snare and kick. Create a sort of a submix of that. Next, we'll isolate our rhythm. Now, these instruments are higher, especially the guitar, and they won't need a whole lot of help. And you'll notice our guitar is actually just chords. So this is all harmonic support, no lead lines. And let's put everybody on the stage. So put guitar over on the left, piano on the right, And maybe synth off to the right a little bit. So we want these all to be even. We want to be able to hear them all. Nobody should be masked, meaning that we should be able to hear all the layers evenly. And they should all have independent volume and panning considerations. Also, the sum output should not be above threshold. So we're at a good spot, and now we can start bringing in our vocals. Notice that our vocals
Find you and a place
are not processed, and as an isolated track, they sound kind of isolated and vulnerable. And so we want to put this track in the mix, not on the mix. If we put this all the way up to 0,
you and a place for us to fall back down.
it sounds too...
I know I've let you down before, and that I've hurt you bad.
It sounds too strong. It peaks out our mix, and so we're going to bring it up just enough so that it lives in the mix.
That's a way to find you and a place for us to fall back down. I know I've let.
So without using any effects or compression or anything to kind of tighten this up, we can make decisions about volume and panning to make our mix in a preliminary way sound pretty unified and even.
If that's a way to find.
We're doing this by using our ears and our eyes on the master fader and making our considerations according to what we know about psychoacoustics and our sensitivities to certain frequencies. Once we have a good sense of this mix, we're going to create a print to audio file with the render function. So the render function is how we're going to make our audio file. We're going to choose an MP3 format, and we're going to save our file as last name project 1, and apply and render. And we'll go ahead and let me say Reaper. And apply and render. It'll go through our mix and make a file, and I'll show it in Finder, because the final step is to listen to your file, audition it, make sure it sounds right.
I know I've let you down before, and that I've hurt you bad.
We need to make sure that it's complete. There's no strange things in the file, like a metronome or missing a track. Make sure it fades out gradually and nothing is cut off. Okay, sounds good to me. If you can hear everything evenly and nothing sticks out awkwardly, you're ready to go. Now this is the file you're going to upload to D2L for the assignment. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thanks.